Guess what I did today? I tried something really different, veered away from the choirs, ballet, and even baking. No, it wasn't rollerblading. I took a leap into the world of fashion, specifically hijab fashion. Yeah, you heard it right. I bet you're probably wondering why, right? Well, you know me, always finding new ways to get the creative juices flowing, and this seemed really exciting and different. I met Aisha, a hijab fashion expert, and a local designer called Zara. They were both so inspiring. We had a blast remixing hijab designs, integrating elements of both Korean and French aesthetics. Mixing our cultures in this new form was quite a journey. Being around fabrics, patterns, pinning down my own designs, it was quite a charm. Yeah, I'd say it was a far cry from the dance routines and vocal scales. I shared my little adventure with Hye-jin, Max, and Pierre, and guess what Max came up with? He suggested that we incorporate technology into fashion, like smart clothing or even LED screens on clothes. LED lit clothes, imagine that. Performing on stage with lights literally on you, it would be spectacular. They got pretty excited, and it turned into this whole conversation about performing with tech clothes. Now, I want your honest opinion here. Can you picture us in LED lit clothes, dancing to the beats of Pierre's music under the spotlight? Definitely a sight to behold, right? Or maybe it's too much? Do give it a thought. Oh, and speaking of Pierre, he's game for innovative beats for these innovative clothes. Just one rule I laid down for our amazing boys, though. Not forgetting the bluesy tunes. You know me, a hardcore devotee to the cause of keeping the blues alive. Imagine futuristic clothes with old-school blues in the backdrop. Quite a blend, isn't it? Now don't laugh, but remember how we used to dress up dolls when we were kids? It felt a bit like that. Only this time, these could be clothes that K-pop stars wear and set trends with. Talk about a fashion revolution. We might be onto something big here, who knows? Okay, enough about my day. What's cooking in your life? Anything thrilling or even hilariously absurd happened today? Oh, and did you catch the latest from Walking on the Clouds? Their recent album had me swaying all while cooking dinner. All right, imagine me in high fashion designer mode. Time to get back to work. Got a couple of designs to sketch out before the ideas evaporate. It's fun though, I feel like I'm back to choreographing, except it's clothes on a pad, not me on a stage. So long then. We'll chat later, and don't forget, I'm waiting for your opinion on our LED-laden K-pop revolution. Au revoir, my friend. So I dove headfirst into a new experience today. Underwater music concert, believe it or not. This, my friend, was on a whole other level. There I was, submerged in water, and the music swam to me, in vibrations through water. It was not just about listening, but feeling the music like never before. That's really how my day immersed in underwater melodies went by. Noah, the concert organizer, sure knew how to create magical experiences. Can you imagine combining dance and underwater music concert? It could be like a synchronization of light, music, and water. Flooded my mind with fresh thoughts about performance settings for us. I shared the experience with Hye-jin, Pierre, and Max in our chat, and they all were quite intrigued. So here's a fun gush of thoughts. Ready? Max came up with the idea of mixing AI-generated music with underwater acoustics, which actually turned our conversation to a brainstorming session. We inadvertently started imagining our performances with underwater acoustics. Gave me a jolt of ideas I must jot down before they slip away. Speaking of ideas, guess what Pierre did? He went a notch higher and suggested incorporating underwater sounds into our tracks, like echoes of dolphins or the serenity of flowing bubbles. Picture that, the harmony of nature's palette. It could really set us apart in the K-pop industry. And maybe it resonates with our fans too. Oh, remember how Hye-jin always knows how to add humor in tricky situations? She labeled us the underwater K-pop idols, and I must admit, it had a ring to it. Not a bad deal, right? It's catchy and sort of wrapped up our chat discussion for the day. Let me tell you, these brainstorming sessions are pretty exciting and challenging. But you know me, I absolutely love a challenge. Especially when it involves my two key passions, music and dance. However, they do make me hungry, and I mean midnight burger craving kind of hungry. Remember our late-night food runs after rigorous dance sessions? I'll share a secret, though, amidst all this underwater talk, got me craving underwater fries. Funny, no? This further led to doodling plans for a late-night food run. By the end, I was filled with a wave of nostalgia, reminding me of our customary late-night food runs in between our dance practices. I let you in on this because you know the craziness, and I value your thoughts. So, what do you think about these water elements in our performance? And do you fancy the tag underwater K-pop idols? Remember, we always have Jake's Cafe to catch up on a good cup of coffee and partner up in this voyage of chaos and creativity. The idea of a performance bubble, what a fascinating revelation. Moving beyond the traditional stage, into the waters, quite literally. I mean, let's face it, we're not shying away from ideas that are rewarding, aren't we? All right, gotta go for now. Before I leave, do you think this underwater theme is too far-fetched? Would love to know your thoughts. So, I took a detour today from my daily dance training routine. Instead, I found myself immersed in the underground hip-hop scene here in Seoul. It was captivating to observe how a different genre can have a different rhythm, a different energy. I ended up participating in a hip-hop dance battle. Now, isn't that a departure from my daily ballet and contemporary training? Funny enough, the whole arena was vibrant with raw passion. Was it intimidating? Sure. But the air was buzzing with excitement, true camaraderie in sharing the love for dance. I mean, the stretch between ballet and hip-hop is like discarding a maple leaf only to pick a palm frond, each profoundly different yet harboring shared vibes within their veins. They are two sides of the same coin, really, one all grace and poise, the other raw and pulsating. So guess who I ran into? It was Kai, one of the competitors. Now there's a guy who can move with the beat. His fluidity, his finesse was simply exhilarating. The guy didn't merely dance, but he painted vibrant stories with his sequences. He pulled me into his world, and it was beautiful. I couldn't help but share this experience in the chat with Hye-jin, Max, and Pierre. You should have seen how my announcement surprised them. Especially Max, he was utterly taken aback. But you know, my efforts paid off since they all seemed pretty excited about it. To me, it felt like I was not just dancing. I was resonating with the crowd, each move, each stanza echoing with the beat in the room. It was almost like having added another color palette to my dance repertoire. Do you recall how I used to mix Korean flavors in the French pastries Mom taught me? This felt somewhat similar, infusing the raw energy of hip-hop into my soul, trained in more traditional disciplines. I'll wrap up now, but I want you to ponder this. Where do you think we stand when we try new things? Is it overstepping, or is it about expanding our horizons? And if our world was painted with just one color, wouldn't we be missing out on the full kaleidoscope? I believe the latter, hence I dance to different tunes. As individuals, a touch of strange might be exactly what we need to discover another beat, another tone in our life's rhythm. Also, next time you come over, bring some hip-hop beats. Let's dance together.